Um, yeah, if you could just normally I start off the lessons by just hearing a little bit about yourself, what your goals are, all of that type of stuff, just so I can get to know you a little bit. Tell me about your experience and just everything like that.
Okay, so my experience FPS wise, I started playing like Counter-Strike. I don't know, I want to say around like 2013, 2014. Played that for quite a while, several years. Played in ESEA, got some competitive experience there.
Yeah, what did you play in any ECA leagues?
Yeah, I made it to IM,
Okay.
so nothing too crazy, but you know,
Yeah, I
got
started
that.
off, played some ECA. I used to love Counter-Strike. I think that's where most IGLs in this game transitioned from. So it's good that you've
Yeah,
got a background in Counter-Strike, 'cause I think that helps a lot for IGLs, and that's like a great base. So it'll be interesting to see how your fundamentals of calling are based on that. What else is
yeah.
there?
I've played some other, just some other random games competitively. It's like some BRs, some other not so well known FPSs here and there. So I've competed for a while. But most of my IGL experience comes from CS, playing that. And then as far as Valorant goes, I started playing that when it came out. I haven't like grinded it, like grinded, like I'm only like level 60, but um, I like the game, I play the game. I haven't been on um, like a team I've made or anything, it's just been my college teams so far.
Okay. So this here is your college team.
Yes.
Okay.
Friendly gaming, let's go.
And last act I got Immortal 1, and I haven't finished my placements yet, but I'm probably be Ascendant.
Yeah. Okay. That's pretty good. So tell me a bit more
I'm
about
doing
this
shorty
game.
gaming.
Like this game, the two teams, how much practice you've had, all that type of stuff.
All right. Well, this was for this was in a tournament for like college teams in my state, pretty much, and this the state ECR team here was about as much practice as we've ever been.
Okay.
My team, they're around like, they all don't have the same experience that I have. Like, Jackson, for example, he's relatively new to, like, I guess just FPSs.
Okay.
Comic, I don't remember. I don't think he has too much either. And Decoy and Higgy have played Counter-Strike for a little bit.
Okay.
But
So
I'm definitely the most experienced.
relatively new across the board
Yeah,
then.
fun with your frenzies.
So
Yeah.
how much practice have you had on Haven going into this?
We have a few ideas of how we want to play out some of the rounds. Like we have a few set plays for defense to take early map control. Like we have like an early pop down C long. We have this like lobby control we'll do quite a bit. We'll like do a smoke at the back of lobby, and then I'll like do a flash to see if they push through, and then we'll take control of that and then leave someone there so we can rotate else.
Okay, so just look at the map. This is from the patch where Chamber was extra strong, where he had the 2 trips.
Yeah.
So, okay.
Yeah, this was a few months ago.
Okay. So do you think you've developed much since here, or do you reckon you're sort of at the same level as you were in this?
Probably the same as this.
Okay, and just lastly for me, what would you say that your strengths and weaknesses are as an IGL?
I'm good at keeping a cool head, I would say. I don't like, yeah, I don't know. I don't get like upset. I just try to think objectively. So I think that's a strength. Weaknesses. Maybe I can, I guess, come up with like ideas of what I want us to do on the fly faster, or like just have options and ideas how we can like move around the map or take control of stuff. Um,
Yeah, that works. So yeah, we'll just hop into it. Any questions you've got at any point or anything as well, just say and we'll take a look in. We'll take a little look at your personal stuff as well as the IGL stuff. And
okay.
yeah, I'm excited to get into it.
Just if we're going somewhere together, just
So this is a set strat you've practiced this pistol round, or is it just like because it looks like a default spread so far? So is this
yeah,
like
it's
so it looks like you're going to take a lobby, and then these two are this. He might be flashing off the alarm bot or something like that. That's sort of what it looks like from here.
Yeah, I think the general idea is we're doing that like lobby control thing. Our Omen's gonna smoke, Breach is holding stun. I don't remember if he insta stuns or if he holds stun for Jet to swing, but something like that.
Okay. So the
Are you streaming your Discord or YouTube? I don't know if I.
it should be. Can you see my YouTube? It should be my whole screen.
Oh, you. Okay, yeah. I just won't be able to hear it.
Oh, okay. No, let me fix that. Can you see?
Yes.
Can you hear it?
Yeah, there we go.
Okay,
Yep.
okay, that's super cool.
Yeah, they dark.
Just leave.
Just hold the window.
One garage. Yeah. They're in a garage. The bad smoke. Bad garage smoke.
They just ran out.
So what I want to talk about, just this is like I'll talk about your team as well as you, just about some things you can bring back to the table. Because are you going to still be playing with this team, or it's relevant generally? But I wanted to say, so you see about this setup with this pistol round. This was like the first thing that I sort of noticed is if you're gonna do a 1-1 setup like this, because Haven's a map where you really want a pairing system going on pretty much all the time, unless you have like an advanced position. So if you're gonna play a setup like this where Omen is playing for himself in garage and Chamber's playing for himself on long, Chamber 100% needs to have like a retake, TP as opposed to this TP, because what's going to happen is it's very hard for Chamber to fight like overall unless if he's got an escape to CT, it's fine. But if he falls here and gets trapped here, like he's literally got no help unless you've talked about like protocols with Omen flashing across site if they do a garage split. So I don't know if you've discussed any protocols with your team at all, whether they have anything.
No, not really. We don't have a lot.
Because if you're gonna want to play like this, instead of playing in a pair, because like a good idea anyway, that I like to do is I'd prefer to move Omen over to C, leave this here, and have a protocol for if this alarm bot goes off, maybe we push down C long, or we go in, we flash in garage and retake it, or anything like that. Because what happens here is you can see, I don't know whether he's bought 2 smokes or 1, but at this point, they could be playing a default. For sure, they could still be in their like little oval of their spawn. However, like this is where like questions want to be asked. Like Chamber's not taking any info at all this round. Like he stayed in the corner, so you want him to be taking at least some info C long, like it's Chamber. So I would tell him, I'd like part of IGL in like what I do is I teach my players to play how like I'd want to play. And when you're playing a character like Chamber, there's no point in him sitting in the corner, because pretty much no matter what, he's gonna get cleared, darted, knifed. Something's gonna happen, especially when you look at his team comp, and it's actually way harder for him to kill the entry. And then even if Jet comes up here and dashes and he shoots at them, he can't TP because Jet will kill him. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So basically, he needs to hit his Chamber. He can just take a fight down here happily and then TP out, because you're starved of information on B, like B down mid, garage and C in this round, because there's no one taking info at all. So they're not A, and I feel like you could predict that they're coming here because you got the alarm bot garage, you got the alarm bot B, like you're fine on B if they come in, that's okay. Because Breach is by the alarm bot, so there's a load that you can do. Omen's by the alarm bot, so you can flash, delay, all sorts. But Chamber really here, you want to teach him to take more info. than you did.
They just ran out.
Because he got punished here and he had no help, but like there was no talk of like a flash across, like anything. And like you did all the good work here, but you didn't set yourself up on the other side of the map for the best reaction.
Okay.
So literally all I do is I'll just make like a pair, you know, like either just a pair setup or have protocols. Because you know most rounds, if you've run this pistol a lot, I'm sure you'll realise that you find out whether they're coming A very quick or they're not A, almost like literally at the start of every round. So you just need to have this prepared for. Because if they rush A, I'm sure you're prepared for it, playing Skyjet and Breach over there. So it's the weaker side of the map that needs to have a stronger setup for that reason. So there's no, like, you see as this is happening, like from this point, roughly,
Yeah.
the retake should be being spoken about, like how you're going to retake it. So, like Breach, you know, how long till it's done. Omen has flash, where's he going to flash? You don't have flash for 20 seconds, you got dog. Like all this stuff should be being spoken about as you rotate in, so that you don't have to do it when you get to the here, because if you speak about it when you're over here, say, and here, then by the time you get to here, you can execute it. But it's very hard. Like we'll see how you actually retake in this round. It's like imagine if you spoke about dog in. You say that you got dog in garage, and maybe Jet and Omen could be ready to like flash off of it or push it, rather than having to make like the perfect decision in the moment here. They don't know until they're right here that they're going to get a dog to go in with. Whereas they could plan ahead and you could combo your utility a lot more, because I'm sure that Breach will have some utility. So say for an example here, Jet could dash into a smoke, right? As the dog bites someone. Omen can flash, Breach can flash, and that's the whole, and then Omen can smoke this. That would easily be, that's not entirely on you as the IGL at all. But you want to talk about, you want to get your players to start speaking as before the retake actually happens. Because here, like, use your dog, and then he just goes, takes a fight. Omen could have thrown that flash for Jet, and he would have got the kill. If this was planned. Because Omen's just throwing a flash now, but there's no one to collapse off of this. Like, Breach can't kill a guy here, and you've got to get all the way up here anyway. So you can't even collapse off of this.
I was about to go blind, and then you said, "Yo, I'm going."
Don't just run up. We have Jackson flash. My flash was.
So yeah, you're saying. So I know that was probably. I just like said all this stuff that you already know. There's like some of it, but if you know, I'm assuming with your team they don't talk too often, or is that like a rare situation that's just happened there? What would you say?
You mean like for
Do they not?
retaking that?
Yeah, do they normally talk about all that stuff I said, or?
It's a work in progress, so not as much as we should.
Okay.
Like sometimes we have good ideas. Like it's still a little shaky.
Okay, so if I go like this and I go to this, can you see this website?
Yeah. We use
Perfect.
this a lot.
Perfect. So, if you're playing Sky and you've got good synergy with your Jet player, you want to do a lot of stuff. You can use it when you execute, you can use it when you retake. That basically is like this. And then like this sort of thing. So he'll dash into smoke, pop out. Have you done this before?
We haven't really done much for retaking.
Okay, so you can do this. You can do this like pretty much all the time. Yeah. It's really strong. Jet and Sky have great synergy. In my team, we just had like a very short name for it. Like we never even saw tens do it, but we just said tens because it was the quickest word that we could think of. And all I had was my Sky player, my Jet player. We just said tens C, and all that and we'd know. Like we trimmed it down, so it was like rather than say, okay, you dash into a smoke, I'm gonna pop your flash here. It was like tens above sight or something like that. And it made the comms like if you can like work on like trimming down your comms to make it as efficient as possible, and and all the good agent synergies, if you have little terms to them, like short word as possible, it really helps improve your comms. Because then, for example, Breach and Omen know exactly what you're doing, and they can assist. They can be like, okay, I'm going to stun back Plat, you know, and he knows that you're going to be dashing in. He knows all of that just from one word. So Breach could have been here, say, you know, stun this. Omen was here. He could just come, he could flash like this. And that would have been super, like, that would have been a way better thing. So say your retake had looked like this. I'd say the probably best stun that you could have done would have been, you know, something like this instead.
Yeah.
Probably here. And stunned, you know, a little bit diagonal like this. That would have probably been his best play. If your execute looked like this, as opposed to, you know, Jet just running in dying, you Breach running in dying, Omen running in dying, and then you running in dying, like it would have been, you would have had a way better chance of winning this round. So yeah, that's just like saying you don't have to have that as like a set piece, but I would say like I would sit in a server with your team and go through, okay, when we're in a retake C scenario, what's a good set of what's good util for your agent. So you'll go through Omen, Flash, Breach, Stun, the tens concept, and the smoke, of course. Do you spend much time in your scrims doing theory, where you would talk about, like, do you have allocated time for theory, or do you just play scrims?
You mean like do we go on offline servers and go over like Valpline stuff?
Yeah, like do you set up time to do that, like pretty much every day that you come and play, or how often would you say you do it?
We definitely do it. It's been a while since we've all played. We're about to start back up, so I wanted to like get back in the hang of things and get some more stuff. But we have like in our Discord, I just have a bunch of like
Set
channels
pieces
for like
yeah.
Valoplant
Mhm.
pictures, you know.
Yeah, no, that's
So
really good.
We have a bunch of that, but yeah, we try to do like some of each.
So what you want to do, just a common thing, like it's like so you know you've got all these valor plants and you've got these things, right?
Yeah.
You want to teach people how to do their individual part and all the potential individual parts, rather than having like a set retake like this. Like this could be like, say you might have extra info where you know like there's no one back plat, so Breach wasted stun. But if you get in the habit of doing like a set piece, which I see with loads of teams, where it's like, okay, we're gonna do a C retake, I'm gonna stun this. It's like Breach could save his stun, like for when he comes outside, because you know no one's plat, and like this is enough util, stun for this, and then nade out the cubby, that type of stuff. So you kind of want to go through each agent individually as opposed to like the whole thing. And then it's on people's comms and initiative to kind of bring that together. I don't know if that's something that you do, but that's like the best way to approach it, is to get people to really like understand their agent and all the possibilities in each situation. So therefore, if you start talking, you can come up with the best plan on the fly, which is going to help you win and deal with like any situation that comes in your way. This is really good playing the eco together. This was great even in Counter-Strike. It's the best way to play these ecos. So is that flash for? What was that flash for?
Is like for window and if there's rain out grass.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably should have thrown a little higher, but.
No, I was just wondering if it was for the window because the smoke landed like just straight after. I didn't know if that was like meant to be for just grass or not. There's not too much wrong with that. The only thing is, you see when it's like comms like the breaches, where it's like, okay, I'm going to stun short. It's like, realistically, who's capitalizing off of that? Because it's in the moment he's stunning, but who's actually getting to kill off that? Like, no one can. It's not. If he was like, oh, I'm going to stun short, and then you guys actually pushed with the stun short, you know, you can take the space off of it. Or if you stun long and then you push out long with it. But because ideally in this eco round, you're going for kills, right? You want as much kills and damage as possible. So you don't really want to deter the guy from like peeking necessarily, because if he stuns him, he's not going to peek, and you know it's quite a long range fight anyway where he can tuck. It'd be better for you to like say you're going to push out long, and he goes, okay guys, I'm going to stun long. You guys push, and then you can actually kill say this guy because you can collapse on him, and then you're all pushing out. So sort of like when you're retaking, just think of it as like an execute. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
Like
but
how we're using the util to take space.
yeah, as opposed to, because in this round your eco you just want to do damage. It's more about the concept of talking in advance rather than coming in the moment. So like planning as much as you can. But like this is all fine, you know, it's an eco round, you got 2 kills, that's absolutely like perfect to be honest. You can't do much better than that. The only thing I would be a little bit careful with in your strat design of that anti-eco was, you know, if you using util instantly on an eco, a lot of teams won't rush straight away on the anti-eco. They might hold like a passive spread, and if they hear your util mid, it's going to be very obvious what you're doing. So you could consider having your round set up to be like, if we get contact, okay, then all this stuff happens, you know.
Yeah.
As
Okay.
opposed to, because really like not many people run out mid in straight away in second round. They'll normally either play they'll normally say, let's hold they hold a default spread, or they've killed it as a turret. It's going to be hard for you to actually collapse and like really win that round. So that's like all I'd say is potentially having like a protocol, like, okay, we're going to walk down mid, if anything happens, you know, breach is going to let off a stun, or you're going to pop a flash, say from garage, or like design the round like a little bit different. And then that way, if you don't get any contact, you might be able to, you know, surprise them. And then if you get to this window and you think they're in a passive spread, you could start putting, you know, what's it called? Say like breach flashes like through here type of thing. And then actually killing them in their spawn because they're holding for you and they're not ready for you to be down mid already. So that's just something to consider, like to try at least in your eco round, see if you have any more success.
Right.
So this is your default, is it? It's quite
No,
looks
this
like,
is
okay, this is just
this
your
we're
lobby
fighting
crunch,
for lobby
yeah.
here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So this is good because Chambers got his retakes out.
Yes, didn't go well.
So the only problem with this is that you have no pressure from short, so it's all or nothing on long. You have like no crunch. So I would say that, you know, if you want Omen to flash like
Yeah.
this, I would say he can just do it from short, and he can just run down short and then flash it upwards from lobby. So like, to give you an example of this would be, you know, he could be like here and come and flash like this. Or he could be here, you know, flash like this. It'd be better, and then you've got two, basically you're crunching them from 2 different positions, which is going to be a lot better for you. And, you know, you've got more win conditions here. Because even
Okay.
if, let's say it goes perfectly, right, in terms of you get this this space that you want, they could technically still be, right, like they could technically still have got to here, even if they're stunned, and you still, and like it's gonna be really awkward for you to actually come around and clear like that. I know that's a rare example, but at least if you have
Yeah,
to
no,
go
that
on
makes
short,
sense.
it means that Omen can flash reactively as well. Because does he use his flash here? I don't think he does, right? No, he doesn't. So technically, in this, you don't even need Omen here potentially, but I think he should be here if you're gonna crunch a lobby. I would say that potentially you as Sky might not even need to be there, but if you want to commit 4 players over, like, that's absolutely fine. I would just definitely put Omen short if you're gonna do that.
Okay.
Because this is like tough, like there's not really too much you can do there. Like, that's quite like a nice counter from them. Are they stunned? So Breach needs to change his stun. That's why. So when Breach stands here and stuns, it's like it's like this, but he needs to go, like, he needs to stand over a bit so that it actually goes across, like like sort of like, if it lets me get to it. Like you want it to go more diagonally than this, so it's more like this. Does that make sense?
Sure.
Because the line, what's happening here is realistically these guys should be stunned, but I don't think they are. So, but it's annoying because I can't see exactly what the line of his stun is. But like if they're stunned, they can't do this in time. Like they can't. That's probably why you were so caught off. Because there's no way
Yeah.
they run and pop flash out that smoke in the first 5 seconds if they're stunned. So like I would double check what stun he's doing and just make sure that more importantly it gets all of this side as opposed to like here. It doesn't need to get that side as much. It's not as much of a threat. So I don't know if you've spoken about this as an IGO as well. When you're in a 4v5, like, do you know what you should do here? Like, what would you say in this freeze frame right here? What would you suggest? What would you like to happen?
Well, they just showed a lot of presence A, so, well, I see two things. Either we need to like group and take fights to try and even it out, or, I mean, yeah, we should be doing that and like taking space elsewhere together potentially, since they had a lot of pressure towards A early.
So, yeah, I agree with that. You basically want to double up. You don't really want to do it solo necessarily. But what I'd suggest is teach your chamber to like potentially like whether he's had anything C long at all. And what he could potentially do in this round is like walk down and sort of look for a pick. Like I know that's solo, but what I would suggest is chamber is like sort of like poking C, trying to bring that kill back, because you spot at least like 2 or 3 here minimum.
Yeah.
So he's got like a worst case scenario 1v2, and normally it'll just be one person. There shouldn't be like 2 people down here. If they're committing 3, it'll probably be like 3-1-1 type of round. So you can let him sort of look for that pick and just basically get like a really advanced position whilst like trade the map control back. And then I would say you want to group up as like a 2, potentially a 3, because you got the 2 alarm bots, but normally you only have 1. Well, from now you only have 1, so
Yeah.
You probably have to commit 1 extra guy. And I would just basically do another play, so you're basically looking to trade back these kills while they're deciding what they should do, and that's the timing you're looking for. So you die, they don't get the trade. Now I'd consider potentially, either doing like a mid walk down, or these 2 come push short and sort of look for sank there. So I feel like you just want to basically equalize, but you don't want to take it solo, because you see here Jet's like poking long, which is really good, but like that's solo. There wasn't technically no reason for them to just split up from their pairing. So I think like Haven's a map where you want to be paired up as much as possible. And then one site you want to basically play retake if you need, and like chamber could just play their solo, sort of poke around and like get off. Because if you try and play, they're really hard sites to hold by yourself, and you shouldn't be trying to hold a bomb site by yourself. And here, like I know it's like a thing with your team and like retakes, because you've got a lot of solo plays going on. So I don't know if this is something you spoke about either.
No, I haven't. Like here, after he gets this, he should probably just be hiding backside, don't you think?
Yeah, like this, he could have died here, and then he's just done such a good job getting a 4v3, right? Like regardless of how risky it is, the fact is he's done a good job here. At this point, he's done a good job when he gets this kill. Regardless of, I don't think he should have went through here to begin with, but he's done a good job here. But then he obviously like over aggresses, and he could have 100% died there.
Probably should have.
Yeah, he should have. He could have asked if he looked at his radar a little bit. I wouldn't be against, because it was a 4v4, him asking Breach to flash through here and him coming through and looking for a fight. Because Breach has 2 flashes available. But here it's kind of like, he should have died there. But if you look at this, like obviously it's hard because you're not alive, but it's a bit like it feels chaotic, and it feels like there's no plan. There's no plan, which is the reason it feels chaotic. Like there was no comm that he was gonna tap the bomb. The smoke's halfway hanging out, So you always want your smoke to be, if you might know all this stuff, but I just want to, go through everything.
Yeah, so like it's flush.
Yeah, 100%. That's the word I use normally as well. So like this doesn't happen. Um, so you're telling them. So I feel your frustration. So a lot of the stuff I say you might know, which I apologize for, but I don't know what you do and don't know yet. So
Yeah.
but yeah, no. You win the round. Oh no, you don't win the round.
Yeah.
And you're saying it here. I feel your frustration. I think every IGL relates to you right now. I feel everyone does. Everyone's been there. That's what it feels like when I play in my university team as well. How many rounds a game would you say you play A as Sky here?
I don't remember. Probably a majority.
Okay. You got a good pair with Jet going on. But you see here, again, they've got this solo thing going on where they're playing 1C, 1 garage. And I don't think that's too strong because you're very limited in what you can do. Because if you were to think about in this like round design, how many times are they going to go into garage without a garage window smoke? And if they do go into garage with a garage window smoke and set off the alarm bot, is Omen going to flash and jump into garage by himself? Is that a play you're happy with? Because
No. Okay,
the
so
garage is
so you're
wider.
saying,
Mhm.
do you think he should just be on C as well? Maybe?
Yeah, I think they should either be doubled up garage and move this over to here.
Okay.
So I'll give obviously just give a little diagram just to.
Yeah, I'm seeing what you're saying. Like, obviously, him just sitting in window isn't gonna do anything.
Yeah,
He'll
like he's
smoke
been
it, and then
AFK.
he
He's
can't do anything.
basically been AFK from the round. Every time they've come towards C. So far.
Yeah.
So you could have a setup like this, where he's holding a flashbang. He's holding. Sorry, well, I call it flashbang, but it's like it is still like a flash.
Hello?
And then hello, can you hear me?
Hello?
Can you hear me? Hello?
It's lagging.
Oh, is it you or me? Can
Give
you?
it a second.
No, that's okay.
You're gonna try something.
Can you?
Hello?
Hello?
There we go. We're back.
Okay, right. So I was saying you can have a setup like this, where like he's holding a flash, he gets the kill, will TP out. Let's say it's TP set up to window, and then if they're still coming in, what will happen is Omen will flash and they can double peek, something like that. Or he can have his TP set up, he might come up or he might join, or if chamber pops off here, Omen can peek, get the second kill, and then he can just TP straight out. And then you've got like a setup where you can actually play C retake, which you're happy with your comp. You've got a very strong retake comp, and you've actually got a chance to like kill them coming in, because at the moment you're pretty much having to play a 5v5 retake, best case scenario 4v4 retake at the moment, because well, the best case scenario is chamber gets one kill before he has to TP off, and then you play the 5v4 retake, which is still not a great position to be in. So what I'd say is like you want to actually have more, if you're going to be on a weaker side of the map where almost two players are holding on to, like this was in strong chamber meta as well, so it's going to be even harder at the current stage. So you just want to
Is
basically.
Chamber still played on Haven?
Yeah, he's still fine. He's still strong, but he's obviously weaker because he's missing an alarm bot, which was this was probably one of the best maps to have the 2 alarm bots. But it's even just say you had the the trademark in here, and you had like a setup where it might be a case of he's on here on platform, or you say that he's top site, Omen's there. This is quite a nice setup where, so let's say that Chamber's line of sight is like this, so he's holding a little bit of an off angle, so the attacker's around here. The second he sees them, Omen flashes and he can swing out as well, so he could hold this type of flash. and then he can go for kills, and then they got the garage trip, and basically all they need to do is like, okay, if the garage trip goes off, we need a protocol. So maybe it's a case of they double peek C long together, maybe they both leave C site and group up and retake garage, that type of stuff. Anything
Yeah.
like that, you know, they just want to play as a pair because at the moment they're playing in position by themselves, and it's very hard and risky to. It's not very often that the attacker's going to attack a part of the map with just the one person. So if they don't play together, then they're going to really struggle to deal with that because they're going to be at disadvantage every single time.
Yeah, so here they took towards C, so I made us make sure we cleared mid for a lurk, and then
Mhm.
so we can crunch them.
Yeah, that's absolutely fun.
I used that accident.
Omen dropped his flash by accident.
Well, I got shot.
Chamber box. Default, chamber
Flashing
default.
Jackson. Flashing my dude.
Top of box. Top of box. Chamber box.
What I think should happen here is there should just be like a crunch, like you have a word where it's like it can just be like go or like now or something, like can be like anything where you all push in at the same time. Oh, so Omen didn't use his flash. Oh no, he did. I think.
Chamber box.
What does he use here?
Flashing Jackson. Flashing my dude.
Oh, that's a smoke. Right, okay. Yeah, so I think here there's no point soaking because I think you want fights as well. So I personally wouldn't have done that soak, but what's it called? I think you just all want to take like there. You've got like a crunch going on, right? You had two flank. I think it was one garage and two CT, or two garage, one CT, whichever one it was, which is fine. But you all need to take fights at the same time because at the like it was like sort of like one at a time there, and you got your best chance of winning if you're fighting them from all the angles at once.
Yeah.
But that's like an eco round. You see what I mean? You see how hard it was though to win the C retake. All I'd say as well, something to consider is flanking with your comp is not that good for C.
Okay.
So I would have played probably for exits if you wanted to flank. Just because if you compare the retake there, like think about how much utility you have having a breach and a sky. Breach flanking is not really good no matter which bomb site it is. Unless it's like B where you've come round and you funneled them into this small area and then that's where you deal with them with breach. Your comp is absolutely fine to retake C because you got the omen smoke that you drop down here. The rest of your util only really has to go in this little box, and that's so super strong for the agents you have. So if you're gonna flank
So
them,
there I probably should have either just like had everyone like towards garage and spawn, or just like held for them to exit.
yeah, so yeah, that's literally it. That's what I'd say. So you want the C retake where you basically explode onto the site with your breach utility, or you hold for exits going into the gun round, because their economy is looking really good right now.
Yeah.
And they kept 4 guns alive, or 3 guns alive last round, but their economy is still good even from there. So it's going to be a little bit like you're going to struggle here because of this. What was the score of this game?
Right here.
No, like overall, like what was the final score?
I think we got 7 rounds.
Okay. This round's quite a nice setup. I would definitely have I don't see the need for him to have this trip because realistically he's not going to fight. He shouldn't fight more than that. Like if you're playing chamber on site here, he's going to go for 1 kill and get out. Because if he's letting this go off, it's going to be very hard for him to actually kill off this. Because if we were to go here, for when they're in this line, right, he's going to have to take a fight where he's probably swinging in to actually kill anyone in this radius. He's probably taking a fight where there's probably, like say 2 people holding him here, or 2 people holding him here. Like it's going to be really tough for him to actually get any impact there. Chamber would be better off, putting his trip somewhere else and then having his TP set up. So like I think one of the best TPs he can have is this one. So you can like he should be trying to actually, because it's chamber, he can like bend a few fundamental rules. So he should be having his TPs basically set up for something. You know, maybe it's something like this. Maybe he actually wants to go take it like super aggressive and he wants to come short, and he might want to take, you know, the TP over to here because you can take this from down short. And he wants to get like early info because that's like the benefit of his character, where lacking utility. Because again, what's going to happen is if he's letting them up to this point on site, by the time they get to here, it's very unlikely that he's going to get one kill. And the best case scenario, he gets one kill. Again, you're having to play for this late information, because unless you've got a load of information to stack A, you're going to be quite late to rotate because you've got to come all the way over to here. And then you're playing another retake situation, again, with high numbers. And you really don't want to be doing that on the defense. Because like these set pieces are really nice, you know, like I like stuff like this, opening up the round. But what he should be doing is trying to see if they react to it. Because if he sees they're rushing A, you can make better decisions here. But I want to see how it plays out with him on site here, actually, because he has to TP out anyway because of he gets KO knifed, which is another reason why you shouldn't be sort of playing this. Because now this goes off for what use? Like that's just wasted now.
Slow him down, I guess.
Yeah, like it's not been it's not been used there. This is fine to catch a luck. I don't mind that. So you see here, the only issue with you doing your ult early is the fact that because there's no plan, what should ideally happen is by this time this is going in, we should have a plan to actually capitalise off of this. But now it's like if you wait for breach, he's aftershocking now, like as you go in, you know, like there's no plan, like he's not waiting for, like Jet's not ready to go in, Jet's not said he's ready to go in, you've got flash in 5 seconds, you could dash into a smoke, pop flash him to kill under heaven while he aftershocks it, or something like that. Don't know what his timer is on his breach done. Don't know if Omen has flash. He should have flash, in which case he should be CT. Breach is actually quite good retaking from heaven, because he can, you know, flash through the floor and jump down, which is actually quite strong. If he doesn't have stun, you know, there's actually a really good set of util that he can do from like here, where he can like aftershock perfectly, sort of like under heaven. It's like I can't explain it exactly, but it basically does like clear out this, and it gets all of it. It's from like around here, sort of thing. And then he can like jump heaven, you know, flash through sight or flash underneath, which is actually quite strong. But here there's no plan, like there's no setup. So in a lot of these rounds, yeah. See, you're saying you got a flash in 2, right? But they're already going in, so you already know that like it's already, you know, this is all solo piece of util and there's no big construct going on. And it's just coming down to you sort of hitting your shots or not. But there's no plan, so you need to teach your Omen and Breach, who are the 2 best. If you're going to play for retake a lot, you need these 2 agents that are secure in your retakes to really start to like plan out what they're doing. And give you that, like, they should know this, they should identify the second, so I'll give you the exact second. So at this second, they know you're going to be playing an A retake, right? This is confirming that, you know, they're planting A and you're going to have to retake it. So it's at this point, everyone should be thinking about as they're rotating, as soon as obviously you're under pressure here, but from this moment for you specifically, you know you're going to be retaking A. So all the comms should be focused on how you're going to get back onto this bomb site, because you're not going to have time to sit and talk and come up with a plan by the time you get to here. So like I want you to like focus with your guys about planning ahead. I think that's going to help you a lot.
Okay.
Because the CT, like on T side, you know, we'll look more into you specifically and all the stuff you do, because you'll take a lot of the slack on yourself. But on defense, you know, like there's only so much you can do. So your job as an IGL is like done in like the server time to sort of like read how they're playing, yeah, that's the only thing you can really do in game and make like micro adjustments. But your game plan isn't. I would say your team isn't good enough to play in your current game plan because you're playing for retake a lot, but your team's not good at retakes yet. So the game plan, you might have to start in this game. I'll hear what you say in the timeout first. Oh, is your coach? You have a coach?
No.
Oh, was that one of your teammates? Sorry, I don't know the voice.
Yeah, we're just talking about what's happening.
So here, what I'd be saying is I'd identify, you've had maybe 3 or 4 retakes so far, if not
Yeah.
more. So you haven't won any of them. So what I'd be saying to my team here is, we're not winning these retakes. Hold on to these sites. Maybe we're happy. Maybe we identify B as the. If we can't play retake, it means we've got to play on sites. And if we want to play on sites, it means that we're putting 2 here and 2 here. So B is going to be the weaker one. So maybe B is the side that we have to give up, and we hope that the B retake is a little bit easier than the A and the C one. So it's like I'd be saying to my team here,
We're gonna buy here.
like hold on to the bomb sites. We do not let go of the bomb sites without like going for the trades. I think you can't play for these retakes anymore.
Spectre or something.
Because you're talking about the next round so far. You might change it. We'll see after. But you want to be talking
Yeah,
about
I
the
didn't-
overall.
I don't think I talked about the retakes at all. They're just going like A or C, right?
Yeah.
It would be one round, and I. What's
they-
the plan?
Have they been mid at all?
The only one round.
Well, they have a lurk there. Like they had a lurk last round too.
Okay. What
If
if?
you find that lurk
Because here, like your job in the timer is kind of to see what is the trend rather than the specifics of the round. Like, what is the trend? Because you haven't won a single round yet, you've lost all 5. What do all 5 rounds have in common? You've had to retake. So that's like you want to find like the trends, and even if you can, I feel like you've seen this back now. Maybe maybe you can see. Like, do you agree that that's kind of what you should be saying to your team in
Yeah.
this timeout?
I think we need to go.
What if we smoke window early and get Higgy down mid, like here?
Because this is all right because you're actually, it's not a bad thing that you said in the timeout here because you're actually doing
Yeah.
something. But you have done plays, they've kind of just been, shut down or been on the wrong site, which that's like part of Valorant, that's part of like the game. But I feel like you can't, like here, these rounds, like you're setting up for like A and C potentially having to be retook again. Like I feel like if they don't go B, if they're not in mid here, you're gonna probably lose this round just off, unless you sort out your retake.
With you, Evan.
Smoke man. Smoke man.
They're on site already.
Yeah, they're on site.
I can hear you, Cody.
Yep, you too.
They killed my trap in garage.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we lose this as well.
So in
Actually-
here, can you? It's okay. Like it's not actually. So far, it's the same thing. So it's not actually like that. Like this is easily fixable. It's just again like we'll see how long it is before any plan comes in.
I killed the trip.
Plenty.
When you guys need to go?
I think
I put a trip right here, Evan. Or, no,
Because everyone's just talking about in the moment. Okay, they put down a trip. Okay, I broke a trip. No one's talking about the actual. What is going to win us around is defusing the bomb. How are we going to defuse the bomb?
Yeah.
Go together, retake the bomb site. We got smokes alive. Playing C, retaking C with your smoker alive is really easy, especially when you got breach and omen. Drop your smoke. Just make sure that when you do retake C, that you let me clear this stuff. Sorry. Make sure when you do this, you smoke like this, rather than just like this.
I'm
Because
not seeing what you're doing right now.
oh
if you
wait,
would
can
make-
you not see? Can you not see Valor Plant?
What you're just streaming like your Chrome or whatever. So if you open something else up, I can't see it.
Can you see? Oh, so you can't see Valor Plant?
No, I can only see like if you use the website Valplant, like you've.
Yeah,
done
is it
a couple
not?
times.
Is it not on there for you? Because I haven't changed anything, but it's.
I just see a black screen right now.
Oh.
Maybe it's me. Let me try.
What about this? Can you see now?
Yes.
Okay, that's because. Okay, I know why that was. Okay. So you want to smoke like this, as opposed to this, because what you don't want is you don't want any flash that they have to come here and like put Under Armour flash out. At least if he's here, his pop flash isn't gonna like make it to here if he underarms it. So it's going to be a lot harder for him to explode on you, and it makes it a little bit easier because if you smoke at the top and you tap the bomb and their only play is to like run through, they can instantly run through to the side, which means there's more possibilities. Whereas at least if you smoke further down here, they've got to come through just this little lane, and that's the only 2 places. So it's a way easier fight for you, and it's way harder to spam because especially if they planted over here, because they literally can't do anything. But most people won't plant there. Most people will plant for the the optimal plants.
TP, are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, what was that?
Yeah, we gotta
So
get here. They put it here.
so let's like see what actually happens. So Chambers looking for a fight. He misses his shot. It's not that bad. It happens. His position, he should have really took that fight. Like that's fine. He should have got the kill. He's retaken with an orb. That's the best he can do. But we've got Jet, who's going to be our entry to get us into this round, to get us onto the bomb site. He's flanking by himself. Breach and Omen haven't said what they're doing.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Oh, what was that?
You're dogging, but there's no one ready to kill off the. So say you stun someone, you flash them. Who's killing them? No one's there to kill them.
Yeah,
So at this point you have to save.
something here.
I'm getting flash out.
Like there's no way at this point you save 100%. There's no way you get into this round.
Yeah.
Right now you're just throwing money down the drain basically,
Box.
and giving them ult points. Like obviously they're really nice shots, but they're sitting at 4 ults right now. They might have had them before, but you're just throwing away money. Like if you had saved 3 guns, you could buy into this round.
Yeah. Okay.
So now we're going for the half buy. Did you just say?
We wanna just
Yeah.
3 mid, fight 3 mid, maybe?
Guns for the next round though.
Yeah, we could.
Or can you just get me to walk up mid here, because I can TP out?
Sure.
I should
Smoke.
throw the flash right here.
Smoke window if you can.
It's a shame because I could see this, and I'm sure you can watch it back now, and you're just like, this isn't why we're losing.
away.
Like it's so simple why we're losing these rounds. Like it's literally,
I got body.
it's something so easy to fix. Because now we'll see again if another retake now.
Oh, he's in the corner. He's looking the other way.
He's hit 110, man. Hit 110. The trip.
Your best bet here is to get out on site. Like that's if you're gonna go for this round, right? The second if you concede here, I would just go for a hero play. All of you're all here. I would just push out to the site. Because the second you concede here, you've definitely lost the round.
Yeah.
Like your only chance was to get whatever this was with Breach Stun, Sky Flash, Omen Flash, whatever you have, and kill them there. Because in this game, the numbers aren't the numbers are playing against you. Because you're always the higher the numbers alive, the less chance you're having of winning the rounds with the way you're playing. Which is a general thing for if you're going to play for a retake a lot. Like here, I want to see what util. I can't see what util you guys have, but they don't really have anything. Omen shouldn't really be going heaven unless his plan. The only exception really is if his plan is to do a TP into a smoke, which isn't that great. But some people might do that. There might be a perfect round for that. If Jet's dead, you might drop a smoke top site. He might TP into it. You pop a flash out of it for him to fight like hell. So you can use that mechanic on Omen as well as Jet. With the Sky. Do you have any questions so far?
No.
If you do at any point, just ask. Or if you don't understand something I say, or or you have a different opinion on something, just say.
No,
We can have a discussion.
everything is made sense so far.
They darted.
We're going B.
I have my retake ult.
That's good. So he said that he has an ult for retake. That's the first sign of. It's a shame it's only because of his ult, but it's a sign of a plan. So already your retake is going to be better because everyone knows you're going to get an ult on site. So no one should be trying to. I bet no one runs into the site here before the breach ult because that he's commed that in advance.
They're planning.
Everyone's commenting. What has just happened? Everyone's co- like one guy said something and everyone's talking now. Wow.
Garage is clear.
Smoke's about to go down.
He TP'd out, I'm pretty sure.
Backside.
No, he's on site, on site.
So all they needed, the only thing they were missing was the go. Like someone to say, okay, let's go. It's normally a smoker. It's like I'm smoking, let's go. Or the duelist, I'm going in, let's go. That's literally it. That leading up to that retake was so much better. No one gave their life away for free. People calmed what they had.
You know, I'm holding your left.
They just
Good
didn't
job,
have like the
guys.
guy to say, okay, now let's actually do it.
I'm literally whiffing.
It's alright, it's alright.
Alright, I think we do our.
Can you buy me, Higgy?
Yeah.
And again, it worked like, you know what I was saying about B is the easier retake as well. So that actual setup, like you could have potentially had, you know, a mate with you and 3 towards C as opposed to 3-1-1. But you know, you left Chamber by himself, which is fine because he's one of the only agents that can. So you know, if you left Omen there, it'd be completely different because Chamber got a kill and actually got out, which was super nice.
Yeah.
We're just doing it. We're doing our normal like. We're doing our normal like.
I have my ult
stuff.
too. I have my ult.
Okay.
Stun right away or no?
Yeah,
Yes.
we can just like retake on C. So put your TP like here or here, and then just try and get like one in like an off angle.
If I flash
gonna
someone, I'm just gonna
Play
come
my
with you,
TP
so-
in this
okay.
garage area here.
So far, a lot of the rounds, unless you pushed it, you're starving yourself of C long info, which is not good. You want to be getting info down C long as much as possible because it's a long way. If you spot them here, it's a long way for them to get up to C, especially when you got agents like Omen and Breach that can really delay them. It's going to be a lot harder for them.
Yeah.
1 second, I'm just gonna. Sorry, I just need to cough, and my mute button isn't set up for some reason.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm coming with you.
I might be dead. I might be dead. I'm not shooting with that. What?
I didn't see it.
I think we back up. We back up. We have reach out. Back up. Back up.
All I'd want there is Breach to say that he's rotating in to you, so that because right here, yes, they've got a KO ult, and this point is scary.
Are they going A?
If Breach
I
says to
should've
you,
fought back here with him. I think.
um,
I trolled.
okay, in my opinion,
Okay.
you should have fallen back to site potentially with him. Or like you need to be on the same page. That's the first problem. Breach coming in here, you could fight for A site with a 3 here. I know you got Breach ult, so I think playing for retake is also another really good call. But I think either way, is if you commit to either all falling off playing a retake or all sitting on site in like a triple crossfire, you're in a really good chance to sort of win that round.
Back up. Hey, drone. Shooting drone for you. Drone dead.
But like obviously here, like this is, you know, if you had 3 people here, Jet would have died. I'm certain of it. You would have had one guy here, maybe one guy in this off angle, and then one guy behind site. That would have been like a scenario you could have, where you could have, you know, the one guy CT, one guy here, one guy off angle. So you've got like all lines working out. But I don't really like the guy being CT because if he's hard holding short, and then you've got these 2 players like here and here, dedicated to watching the long contact, that's actually not so bad. But yeah, you just had to do either one. I think the Breach ult's the easier one because it's, you know, he's got ult, whatever. And they don't have like a Breach ult back. They've used their KO ult. It sets yourself up for a good retake. But you just got to be on the same page because, to be honest, in this game, if we'd been losing all these retakes, the last thing I want is to do another retake. So I would have like potentially opted for the 3 on site.
Get close.
Get ready, bind. Get ready with bind. Go.
Ready?
Alt. Yes, alt. TP'd away.
See, I think you have every ideal struggle of like when you're dead, you can like say as much as you can, but when you're alive, it's really hard to actually orchestrate everything.
Backside. Inner smoke.
Blind.
Yeah.
Another one short. Push out short. Nice.
So it's here, like someone's urgency
Ready with bind.
was really, really good. Someone took control of this retake,
Close.
Get ready, bind.
so we knew about the breach ult, so that's better than the other rounds. And someone took control of the retake, said when to do it,
Yeah, that was the Jet.
which is really good. Like this retake, perfect. Look how smooth this was as a round as well. You know, it just worked out so much better, and it's not a coincidence. You know, it's not a fluke at all.
Yeah.
The energy was there, the comms were there, the control was there. All it took was winning a round. Just a little bit too late, and that was easily doable from the start. Easily.
Let's do C long aggression. Yeah. I know we don't have breach ult now, but I'll farm it. I'm gonna farm these kids.
We'll have stun.
I love comms and officials. I love listening. Makes me laugh every time. So good. Your chamber player needs to develop some confidence, because like this is not what chamber should be doing. Like this is like no one that starts on A, no matter who it is, and chamber's like the best for it, but no one should be stood on here like this. Like he wants to at least take some info so you can read the map a little bit better. Because right now you're taking info C long, you're starved of info garage, B, and all of A, because there's no info until they actually come in with these trips.
They knife garage. They go good garage. Go garage. Go garage. Play him.
They might be flanking C.
They probably in garage.
One's in mid.
So you got to think about this as well. What is Omen doing? Because let's say they come in B and they set up this alarm bot. He's by himself. Like anyway, like he's basically being the alarm bot. There's no reason for him to be there. Like him and the alarm bot shouldn't be there, because he can't do anything off that alarm bot anyway, so it's just gonna blow up in his face and no one's gonna come in dry, you know? It's very unlikely. So either move the alarm bot to garage or move Omen to garage, I would say. Or double him up A with chamber.
Okay.
Just because, I would say potentially what you could do is you could have a double garage, double C long setup where you pull Breach over. Breach just starts with his util for you guys on C long, as he does in the execute that you do, and then double up with Omen, and then you can crunch garage. You can stop them flanking C long, you know, if they go all the way through garage. But right now here, like he's very likely to die if they'd run in B.
Yeah, long. I was trying to get to cubby.
Playing
Yeah.
here.
In B.
Lay across. I'm gonna jiggle, okay?
Because imagine, let's say Omen was on top of this box, right? TP'd up there as you three push along. They're likely to potentially run into garage with no util because they're like 3C long. If he's just chilling on that box, gets one kill, drops off, TP's out, you know? Like that's a really good play. Compared to him sitting on B, whereas if they full execute B, he's just, you know, he can't really do much there. It's not a great angle for him to TP to safety, really. And bear in mind they have a KO as well. There's just no need for him and the alarm bot to both be there.
Stay alive, Cole, stay alive.
She's on me. Hit 80.
I would have potentially said you didn't need to fight him after this flash. Like this is perfect. And then obviously the spam, but I would have just spammed and ran away at the same time. That's all I would have done.
Stay alive, Cole, stay alive.
She's on
Yeah,
me.
it's like around a little too long.
Yeah, that's all. If you like the time to kill on the chamber was perfect, like everything. It's just you weren't in a rush to kill him, and you could have like just waited for your teammates just a little bit more. And you had another flash, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you had another flash,
Last one there.
Stay alive, Cole, stay alive.
so you could have even double flashed him if you wanted and just bought more time.
Cool. Yeah, kinda cool.
Flashing,
Flash
like,
from there.
flash kinda low.
Flash from B.
Smoke window. I'm flashing. Can I flash it out of? Yes. You're
Yeah,
flashing,
flash
like,
from there.
flash kinda low.
This is a good play. I like this set piece.
Line up. Knifed us.
I have no knives.
That's tough though. That's like a hard
Yeah.
counter. That's really tough.
I'm backing out. I'm just gonna back out.
Smoke that coming.
Play heavy C. Jackson, rotate C.
But now what you're doing is perfect, right? Like this is exactly what you do.
Aggressive.
All on the ground.
This is what, if this had been Chamber with the way he's been playing, he wouldn't have been doing this because he wasn't taking any info. But you were actually able to collapse off the fact you took some info, and then you know you've got a really good position here. they should be looking for fights, really. Like I've sat together, like 2 of them. Because they got the 2 alarm bots. This, if you actually look at this freeze frame, you're in a 4v5, but this isn't that scary. Like this actually isn't, like you're in a decent position to still win this round.
Yeah.
All you got to do is, all they got to do here is set up a play. So it's like, say that Breach plays logs, Chamber plays here, and Omen's going to flash off if they go garage, or if they come out C, he's going to flash across. So basically, where was Omen stood? He was around window-ish. So all he can do is, you know, you can throw a flash through here, like this, whichever line that he wants, or if he wants to, you know, it's like entirely up to him. Or he can throw like a flash like this, like, you know, come forward a little bit and throw the flash like that. And they can both fight. Like that's what I would have done, because you're chilling with A, you don't need any help. You're probably not going to be able to push further than this because of the alarm bot. This is also fine,
In garage.
One in garage.
but I think you'll struggle to push any further than this.
They flash
I don't know
window,
where he puts his alarm bot though.
I'm full blind. Yeah.
They flash window.
So imagine they actually did what I said here, rather than this, because they set off the alarm bot.
In garage.
One in garage.
Nothing happens. He gets droned. He's got no, but he's got TP. Why isn't he taking TP?
They flashed window.
I blind him.
I'm full blind. Yeah.
Okay, 1, he should have taken TP,
Yeah.
but 2, you know, they didn't do anything. They're just waiting, and they could have easily dealt with that if they were like planned again. Like it's all coming down to planning,
78 on KO. I'm fast looking.
Oh, one from B.
and then you know it's like it's tough at that point.
Yeah.
Because even worst case scenario, if he TP'd here, right, TP'd out, they've got Breach, Omen, and Chamber. They can execute back onto the bomb site. All they do is they just flash and they just double flash. They just do, you know, he comes CT here, flashes like this, and then Breach from CT also just throws a flash through here, and they just get fighting. There's also another good flash you can do like up here that you could learn actually from CT, and it comes like all the way like super high. We'll get all of this area. Literally, it's really high, so it'll get all of this.
Cool.
Yeah, anything like that like could have been done, but it just comes down to like a planning. Literally every round you've lost has been due to not prepping.
They got
Like you say here, we're not playing together. I think.
They got full blind. They got full blind.
Yeah. I got blind.
Yeah, I do think I'd say that here. Alright, maybe I already said it.
I think you already said it. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why I didn't have one of them by me.
Nothing there.
Alright. I got suppressed right as.
Oh, that is really tough. I guess that's like a little bit of planning again though. Like if he sees KO ult, it's very likely people rush for KO ult. So it's just something like to consider.
Nothing there.
What,
Alright. I got suppressed right as I ulted.
what,
Nothing there.
oh, he's only 4 out of 7.
I got suppressed right as I ulted.
Yeah, it's tough. We're fast flanking.
Ember likes to play weird.
Yeah, I'm gonna ult. Let's follow
I think I
them
saw one short.
I want you to imagine as well though the potential 4v5 if you would have went CT. So
If me and Jet went back around to
yeah,
CT.
so if you had actually
Okay.
done this with the agents you had here, so you didn't have Chamber, you had Omen, Breach, Jet, Sky. If you imagine this retake from here, my ideal retake, you know, because you wouldn't have used any util, you'd have it all up for the retake by the KO ult being finished. My ideal retake here, you know, would look something like maybe it's like, I don't know what the best one that he could do. Like, you know, he can do a stun. His stun could be either here, whatever he wants. This is quite nice. And then drop in the flash, you know, after the aftershock, or maybe just does a stun. Because the most
So
important,
is
the most
this
important
the-
thing's the aftershock. So I would just say, you know, maybe he does a stun, you know, like this. Let's say Omen
Yeah.
comes here, does this flash, and then he just does this aftershock and flash combo from under heaven, and then Jet's dashing into a smoke here. Because you had all this util available, and I know this is quite complex, but if your round had looked like that, as opposed to what we're about to watch, like the difference. And this is only, I know this looks complicated, but this is Omen using his
Yeah, it's
smokes
not
and
that
one
crazy.
ability, you using one flash, Jet using dash and smoke. Breach has to use a lot of util, but it's not actually that bad. Like if you break this down to everything individually, it's really not that difficult, especially when you add in like terms like tens, say, let's say you call it tens, right? So that's you and Jet not having to comment anything else after that one word. A breach can just, say that he'd practice his routine. He could just say, I'm doing my under heaven routine, like, or I'm nading under heaven, and you guys know what that is. And Omen just says he's flashing across sight. That's it. Whereas this here,
Dropping short.
Dogging him.
Oh, you're docking him? Okay,
Two
Falling
short.
back. Let me flash this. Flash
short,
it.
short.
3, 2, 1.
Another one short, another one short, another one short.
BD.
Repeat it.
Hell. Helen short. Or here. Coming to you.
you can see like how hard that was. And that all came down to individual like gunfights, really.
Mhm.
Alright. Hold for pushes. And then we will.
It's different if you have the flank gets better the less numbers there are, because if you're like retake, so I'd brand like Omen and Breach as my sort of like best retake characters. If like they're missing, then the flank becomes a lot stronger. But when you've got both of them alive, retaking from the CT is actually really strong.
Evan, I'm going right here.
So this is a set round, right?
Yeah, you'll see us run this type of thing a lot.
Okay.
Remember, we're just holding until they push, okay?
So run me through the strat.
Okay, so usually what this is gonna look like, we have.
Do you want me to link you this so you can do it and explain, or? So you can
Sure.
do-
All right. Let's see. Okay, you see that? All right, good.
Mhm.
Let me turn it off real quick. Yeah. Okay. We have this. Omen. Jet. Missing breach. Okay, so we have these two paired towards A.
Mhm.
We have we've changed this up a little bit, but this is kind of like what the idea was. So
Did you
this is
come
like
up with
our
this?
default. Yeah.
Okay.
So we have Omen smoke there almost every round to deny the C information
Yeah, that's really good.
and to potentially get in this cubby,
Mhm.
or just
No,
deny
that's
information.
fine. That's a default Omen on C. That's absolutely
Yeah,
great.
like
Nothing wrong with that.
conditioning there. What I was doing as Sky is I would what you'll see me do is just do this flash after a few seconds just to see if they're pushing down mid to try to take control or peeking it.
Okay.
We like to have our chamber like lurk close garage to listen for information,
Mhm.
or sometimes we'll take garage and like have him lurk, or we'll try to get him up here.
Okay.
And then towards A we'll have they'll just take towards A, keep two here so they can't just have control of this. So like sometimes we'll do this, we'll flash stun long. It's I gave
Yeah,
them
that's like no,
pretty.
that's fine. That's fine. So they just do what they feel like within a certain, they're just working as a pair, and
Yeah.
they're doing something as a pair. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Okay. We'll watch the round. That's like a good start round. There's nothing wrong with that at all. After you throw this flash, do you end up finding yourself grouping here with them? So you work
Yeah,
as
either
like a
group
three.
with them, or it's kind of wherever I want us to take control of, either towards garage or towards A is usually. what I
Yeah,
do.
there's loads of possibilities. You could come dog through garage and let your chamber follow it for a pick or something like that. Checks for the alarm bot. You could do the same up B, him up B, all that type of stuff. That's absolutely fine. Like you set yourself up for like a good round there. So we'll see like how it pans out. would you say it sounds quite successful as a general thing, or
I don't remember.
no, like overall, like in your experience?
Yeah, this works pretty well.
I would say you don't. This fight's bad.
Yeah, I
This.
was just jiggling. Okay, maybe I didn't.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
cool. Okay, cut noise, and we're gonna walk take towards
I got help. Give heal.
Already rotated.
KOs and B. Okay, they're not pushing.
No peek, no peek.
Omen garage.
Okay,
Come
cut
on,
noise, and we're gonna
I got-
walk take towards
I
A.
got help. Give heal.
Do you say A?
Rotated.
I couldn't hear.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
grabbing
no,
ball.
no.
No, it's fine, it's fine. If we just cut noise, they're gonna have to rotate back.
So basically, just off the bat, like what you want to do in your teams is come up with as many. You know, I said about like tens, like terminology, basically. So cut noise is like fine, but like I feel like your team panics the second they get that pick, and you make a call instantly, like within 1 second of getting a pick, right? You could have a word like an example of what I had in my team was play fanatic, which basically just meant don't do anything, but like just sort of another word for like relax and just keep doing what you're doing, but like it meant like a mixture of things. So sort of like don't take any extra aggressive fights, kind of like just stand your ground. But like you don't need to make a call instantly after the kill. You know what I mean?
Someone just walked
Because it's very likely, even as you progress to a high level, as soon as you get the first bit of contact, if you're shouting at your team, like cut noise, all this stuff, there's normally not just one guy. So there'll probably be like more guys coming to trade. So we'll see if it's like a trend of you calling straight after like the kill, but just don't feel half the problem where people go wrong with IGLing is feeling the need to make a call because they're scared of like, you know, people going off and dying or people being like, where's the call type of thing. But like you've got a minute 15 to play with here. You've got a 5v4. You know, they could be doing all sorts of stuff, and
Someone go along with him.
although it's
Five.
not a bad call. Oh, if you die to this guy, I'll be so upset for you because this angle is
No, we're
really.
chilling.
On
Go fast!
He's that's so strange that he's not holding, like you're meant to hold like a little bit further down than that so you actually see for
Yeah.
that, but you know it's
We'll take it.
I don't have.
They're A link right now. A
Wait,
link.
can we spell Kevin?
Yeah.
I'm flashing Kevin just.
just
in
out
case.
of interest, like
Yeah,
what
well,
made
it's good
you
dog, huh?
what made you call what you called, like was there any like reason, is it like what was
Like
going
go
through your mind?
fast or cut noise?
The cut noise, the whole thing, like what made you from that point, if we freeze frame, when you got the kill and then you made the call.
So I like to take map control and just my idea is just constantly make them think like or deny information to them of where we are. So like we got to kill towards A, and they might instant rotate someone over there. And my thinking, if we make we don't make noise, that we could be anywhere at this point. So then I wanted us to walk towards A.
No,
And
that's absolutely sound reasoning. That's absolutely fine. That's like really
Yeah,
good.
and then we kill the Sova. So I was thinking this is probably the only guy here since he's forward.
Yeah,
So
no,
I was
at the
just
point you
thinking
killed Sova, that's absolutely fine. I was just wondering like what made you at that specific point like call to go A.
Someone just walks around me.
But no, that's absolutely fine. That's a good reason.
Someone go along with him.
5 on.
Yeah, I will.
They're A link right now. A
Wait,
link.
can we spell Kevin?
Yeah.
I'm flashing Kevin just.
I
in
feel
case.
like he should definitely smoke Heaven as the priority here, like if he could. And I'd say yeah, potentially waste of dog, just because I think it's good as a piece of counter util.
Yes.
Like the second they drop their smoke, you just dog to just stun one of the guys so you can't come in.
Yeah.
And then obviously then you've got the second layer when your flash
Think for
comes up,
short.
so you stun the first guy on their wave of util, and then as their omen flash comes in, you just pop a flash back and you just trade out utility.
Spawn.
Because that's like, there's obviously playing the advantage in the means of numbers, but there's also playing the advantage in the means of utility. Because you can have like a numbers disadvantage, but have what's it called, advantage in utility by having like more, so you can like trade it out better. But like here, you want to keep it. You want to keep as many advantages as you can. Because breach under heaven is really strong, so I'm really happy he goes there. I'd want
I
my
have them play this setup like all the time.
Yeah,
by the
this
way.
is really good.
Go be short. He's short. He's
here, the second, well, we'll see what happens, but the second that this kill goes down, we need to do something. Like we cannot sit like this. Like it has to be, maybe I would say the best thing to do would probably be breach stun CT and then you fight CT or something like here, because I feel like this is gonna be like it just come down to like aim fights. Like they didn't use Omen's utility. Did he just not have utility or what? Because you know, if they did the Omen flash that I said about, two of you are blind here.
Yeah.
Like this blinds both of you. Even if it was a case of breach stun CT, jet fought CT, and you fought this guy short, just anything like that. But then the reason why that would be more risky is because you're exposed to heaven. But they went one. They retook bad. Like they went
Yeah.
one by one. Like yeah. So that's why I would say do something. You know, you want to be one step ahead. You don't want to let them crunch you like that. But that was a good round.
I think I only called something like that once at like the very last round towards C, but yeah.
No, that wasn't a bad call. I'm just saying you don't need to. I see it like quite a lot, so you don't need to call. You know, even when I was beginning, like with IGLM, that's something that I used to do, like at the very beginning, where because I'd feel like, oh, I've got to make a call. You know, like people are gonna be like, oh, like where's the call type of thing. But then you realise that you've got a minute 15. You know, you can do whatever you want. But you actually had like super sound reasoning for your call, and it worked out really well. So there's nothing wrong with that. It's just if that's a trend, then it'll be a problem. This is good as an anti-eco.
I like to push up A short.
So I'd like to you com like if you haven't spoken about it, like let's fight if that's what you wanted to do. So like let's fight mid. You know, after you identify that they're, you know, in mid. Because I think after the first round, any way you see them, your alarm bell should be ringing like it's very likely a stack. So I think here, like what you want to say to your team is either, you know, you might just say like, let's fight or let's fall off. Just give your team a little bit of direction. It doesn't have to be necessarily you. That could be you, Chamber, or Breach there. But I think you're in a really good position to say that, like especially after that flash, you know. Because it looks like you're thinking about what you're doing. Like, to be honest, the comms are like clustered, which is like one tough. But I feel like if you're,
here.
yeah, that's what.
All mid.
Can you smoke spawn?
Push up CT.
Oh, I think I might be too far away. No, I'm not.
Yeah, so I just think like, you know, if you just said, you know, this is where like you have another. It would be good to have like another like terminology again, like, you know, something for like fall off, you know, rather than don't fight, because you can kind of calm that, because I feel like there's potential in window that you don't know whether you 100% do or don't want to fight there. So it'd just be like you know, sort of just chill out. Like the only way you lose anti-ecos is if you panic. Like 90% of the time, the only way to lose an anti-eco is by panicking.
Might come blink here. Might come window.
Because I feel like the go A call was actually made by someone before you even saw the extra 3 in mid. Don't tell me you lose the sound.
We don't.
Okay, okay, I was gonna say. Omen doesn't want his smokes like that, by the way. It's minimizing the time that they have. Like, I know you know about the flush thing.
Dropped heaven. Nice.
You know, you could have like been super specific. You know, just say like some stuff like, okay, this is like a general thing. Like if you're Sky, like when you pull off, you probably do this when they I'm gonna flash when they tap the bomb. Let's fight. That type of stuff. You know, like mini, like sort of taking control type of stuff. But
Why we pushed A there? They had two.
who's saying that? Is it you saying that? They don't know why we pushed A. Who was saying that?
That was Jackson.
Okay.
Don't worry, we corrected it.
They had one here. Yeah, exactly.
So I'm sorry.
I thought it was
All the way up CT.
Yeah, no, it's funny.
Yeah, that's
I was like,
yeah,
down
that's
there. Fast rotate?
It's fine if you like walk up there.
Honestly, I want to go back for
Um,
push. I have frenzy.
Shocked.
No, that was fine. I just think it was way too panicky for against pistols. Like, never ever wants to be that panicky ever. No matter what. Like, you're literally set up for that play for them to fight mid. So there's absolutely no reason it should be panicky.
Sure. Alright, Cole, can I have your
And
pistol?
just like a nice strong call from either you, like let's fight, let's don't, let's not sort of thing. Would have made that round a little bit smoother, I think. Because it felt like breach was like, I feel like your breach is quite hyperactive, wants to like be aggressive a lot of the time. It seems like so far as my initial first impression, because he was happy, he was wanting to, you know,
Yeah,
fight
he was
window
doing
there.
it.
He was ready to take him.
Flashing? Running?
It's alright.
Sure. Shocked.
Cubby. Cubby.
Why would we not push
So it's
it?
a free A.
Alright. I thought it was.
all the way up CT.
Alright.
Okay, this time it's fine for you to get in Cubby, and Cody's fine if you like walk up there.
Honestly, I want to go faster rod.
So you're planning, from my understanding, this is meant to be a default this round.
Yeah.
Because I know the reason, that's what I thought. But then you had,
Our
I see
Jet
it.
wanted to
Cole, can I
take
have
rush
your
control, so we pivoted.
okay.
Where
That's what you're saying here.
So you're doing it. This isn't
Flash.
default, but
Stunning.
this
Came
one.
out. He's close. TP'd. Let's just fast see.
Smoke window, smoke window.
I feel like the second that he says he's going garage, you know it's going to be a C split, like pretty much already based on your, because you've committed, sort of like
Yeah,
four.
we moved everyone over.
Yeah.
Nice.
Go up.
Rotating.
Comic, push.
So I think what did he
Oh,
ask
hold on
for?
here.
What did he ask for? Yeah, I don't know. This is this is really bad. That.
Yeah.
But what was I gonna say? What did Jet ask for in garage? Did he ask for you and breach?
No.
Because what should have happened is I would have
I'm
said,
pretty sure our Jet just said like, I want to take garage, and then we're like, okay.
okay,
So we
because I would have
Yeah,
put one
we just
extra.
did
In an
that.
ideal world, you want one extra C long there. Because Omen's kind of, if they'd pushed C
Go up.
long, like yes, you could have reacted through garage, but like he's got no trade potential, like at all. And
Yeah.
when you're playing against a chamber, he can take the risk of coming through the smoke very easily. Like he can literally set up his TP here in this corner and go here in front of the C smoke, which is something you've got to be really careful of. Like especially as you play against like better and better people,
Go
they'll
up,
take
go
that
up.
risk
Rotating.
Comic,
because it's pretty safe to be honest. There's not really any risk to it. So realistically, ideal world, Breach should not. Is gonna get his kill, which is annoying. Oh. Okay. um. Okay. That made me happier. Yeah. Ideally, Breach comes with you there and puts a flash through, and you actually like. There's no need. This is such a solo play from him. Like he's actually at the front. This flash is useless.
Yeah.
So yeah, so ideally, I think the second that Jet wanted to go garage, you should have either went A around or whatever, like away from this if you wanted to do it default. But then the second he wants to go garage and you're going to go with him and flash, I feel like you have to call like, let's set up for a C split. Because you have nothing else really, and then this round's all chaos because it changed it last minute. In my opinion, I would have said, Jet. Like I like to give my players ultimate freedom, but I would have said, Jet. Like no, don't like too late. Like I'd say to your players in general, they can't decide that late.
Yeah. So I probably should have just canceled that. or
Yeah,
just-
just overrule it.
Yeah.
I've got one of the most infuriating games of my life because we're in VCT, a really big matchup against like a really good team. We won the first map, second map 11-11 anti-eco. I had a really good idea, I think, and I let someone whose idea wasn't necessarily. No, okay, I'm lying. It was really stupid. But like at that time, I let him call that. Like I let him overrule it, and we lost 13-11 and then lost map 3. Like you know best. Like a hard thing to overcome as IGO is like really believing in you, and obviously you want to listen to your players like 100%. You want to give them absolute respect. Like I say that situation, but that guy made so many good calls in his time that just happened to be like a really big, bad one, and I felt like it was wrong, but I didn't say what I believed in. So I think like a key to hygiene is to really say what you know, believe in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad Breach doesn't get the kill. You just don't want you just don't want people to do that. I'm sure you know that. I'm sure you wouldn't
Yeah.
do that, but yeah.
I'm lagging here.
He's out. He's out.
There's so much util here. Okay, does your Omen ever do this? Because this is what he should be doing. If he identified that this was happening, he should 100% throw this flash.
Yeah.
That flash is incredible for you guys coming up, Garage. I know it would have potentially not got this guy here, but in general, as a C split, like that's a really good flash. Also, like he's got flash here. I don't know why. Like it's 2v3. Playing like this is not good. Like it looks like he's scared. He should be flashing and fighting here because he's got info.
Jet's out as well.
I need help. I need help.
Was wood.
But they just didn't really talk to each other there. Like even Chamber could have asked Omen to, if Omen said he had flash or someone dead, it's when people are dead, they can still calm. So they could have said like Omen flash for, Omen flash for Chamber, whatever their names are, it'd be a lot quicker. But like overall, like it was actually a good bonus, it was a really good chance. I think the C split, like having a set bonus round is not a bad idea at all.
Okay.
Because I think playing a default with SMGs is almost impossible to win. Like not almost impossible, but it's really like the default is normally about like taking some long range fights sort of. I feel like playing like quite a fast strat in the bonus round is really good.
Okay.
Because a lot of the time if you're actually taking info properly in a default, you're gonna have to take some fights. And if you've got SMGs, especially on this map, they're gonna be some real tough fights for you to win with SMGs. So, and here, you want to be very careful about running. Like their buy isn't great. 2, this is your big round, right? This is probably the biggest round of the game for you guys so far. Because this is like gonna set you up to actually build an economy and get you back into this game. I would be very careful about running a set fast piece this early on, because it's all good if you win it, but like you're getting like sort of no read into the game. You're all funneling through one choke point here, and it's just
the call here is like we're going slow. We're making it look like we're taking, like he's doing this, but we just pop through it together.
yeah, this is fun. But like imagine, it's very likely, like I don't know about you, but like I actually main Omen. I play C a lot. Whenever this smoke comes up, I tend to sit.
I'm gonna be playing Omen, by the way.
Oh,
I'm
that's
switching.
awesome. That's really, it's so good to IGL on smokes. The best, in my opinion, the most comfy role. I sit in this corner of the smoke so I can't get spammed. Like I would dream of this type of round happening. Like this actual round is not bad, by the way. Like I have no problem with this actual round. The only thing I'd change is you don't need Omen. You don't need Omen in the smoke. You want Omen to do this flash, or you want Breach to do this stun. But I would say when you're gonna pop out, imagine like what you do if you had just had it like this instead. Where's the Breach? Why can I not grab the Breach flash? Omen sat on it. So imagine this. Either like the high, you know what I mean, like the high bit. So either through there or there, and it doesn't really change that much because realistically, you want Omen to be dropping this smoke straight after anyway. Because you want garage smoke straight after, like after this. I understand why you wouldn't, you wouldn't want it to come first because it's a contact. But now it's like you can actually scale up across here. Like you could have scaled a lot quicker than you did. I know you got the kill. And like this works out well. But like I would say just literally just change it. Like did you even clear the close right? Your flash would have potentially got him unless he was like super tucked. But I think like you could just take Omen out there. Like 3 of you going through the smoke to begin with is fine. I don't think like you need the extra 1. I think it's better to trade off the flash. Do you agree or do you not?
Say that
how
again?
do you feel? So I think that you like. So if you had it, so
Okay, so you think we should have
So just
Like,
like literally 3 of you in
Make
the
sure you
smoke.
double our pop.
Just like have 3 of you in here and just have Omen ready to do this flash at least, because after you're gonna want Omen to put the smoke down anyway, so it's not the end of the world that he's like baiting a little bit. Like
Yeah.
3 of you with one of these flashes should be fine, you know. Like
Yeah.
it should be absolutely like you should be good to go here. 3 of you's enough to. It's hard to get 4 people through a smoke at the same time anyway.
One garage, one garage.
Go cubby. I'm gonna hit someone in cubby.
Aftershock for this.
Somebody go garage.
I have blind. I have blind.
Also, I would have
Yep.
3-2-1'd the walking into the smoke if that's what you're gonna do.
Okay.
Because if someone had been in there, Jet was dead.
3, 2, 1.
And that's very common to sit in because the smoke that you're doing top C is not entirely flush. Like it was like this.
Yeah.
They can sit in like a little gap like this. But yeah, that's what I would say.
Launching backside. Where's spawn? Smoke spawn?
Because this is fine, but like if there'd been a guy in like garage, like he would have shot you in the side. If there'd been a guy like super tucked here, I don't think your flash would have went blinded on him anyway. He could have killed you in the back.
Yep.
Because Jet doesn't dash in. If there had been a guy like already on this angle, you know, that's just another 50-50 like gunfight with not really any trade potential, really. Just all we want is the smoke spawn. Just never come in.
Dead. We can play long. Can you hold mine?
That's a really good comm. I really okay. So you see that comm, the smokes are dead. We can play long.
Yeah.
That's why it's so important that when you play off retake C, when Omen's alive, that you actually do the retake.
One garage.
Because you know how powerful it is when you're playing against the smoke on long, and you know how good it is when the smoke isn't alive. So
Yeah.
there's no way they would like even if they had like 4. There's no way they win this round. Absolutely no way. Let me just listen to
Alright,
comms.
sorry.
Okay, I have flash. Jackson just
I
did.
do.
Nice.
Nice.
Good shit.
They know I'm here. They know I'm here.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Get out.
One out garage. One out.
Okay, when he gets his
Yeah.
kill, he shouldn't. You probably know this. He shouldn't run through. He should reposition, whether that's walk around, go B, or come back long.
Yeah.
Because literally, I say this when I do my individual coaching. He's just got a kill. The attention's all on him. Where are they going to be looking? Garage, and they should just be waiting for him. And if he's stomping like this, he's pretty much dead, guaranteed.
Yeah, he just keeps going.
Yeah, he just threw his life away for free, and he absolutely that could burn you in the next round. You know, like say one more of you dies here, the buy's going to be looking a little bit more dodgy in the next round.
Garage.
Not on.
We have a
Still
stun on
stun.
tap. Just stun on tap. Have him stun on tap.
TPing out. TPing out. Cause
He's
This wasn't great, but we won.
I'm like
Like,
I'm really 50-50 on him TPing because I don't know, like he could have potentially died if he didn't TP, but I'm like so torn because I feel like he shouldn't die anyway. Like I feel like you just trade and like
One's pushing down. Backside. Nice.
like that sure bit's fine.
We have a
Still
stun
stun.
on tap. Just stun
But
on
like
tap.
it was messy because it just needed to be stun on tap and then tuck in and then
Swing.
swing on tap. That's all it
Yeah,
needed to be.
luckily we all swung right here.
Yeah, but that was like that was good, but like there was no comm for it. So like part of me's like, you know, I don't know you guys well enough. Is that potentially a little bit of a fluke, sort of? Like not fluke, but you know what I mean. Like there could be rounds where you don't all peak at the same time.
Yeah, for sure.
Because had
Agreed.
that been like a more even situation on the tap, like you would have been punished more for they might not have swung, but it was a 3v1 and everyone was there, so I feel like you just swung out of confidence.
They push up A.
Yeah, like all we had set in stone right there is we're stunning on tap.
Yeah,
Like,
like
I-
that was really good, and then it just needed to be, you know, just peak on the next tap or whatever, and that would have been absolutely fine. So this is your default, though. This is fine.
They blinded me. Push me. Dead shorties. Fuck.
How many?
There are at least 3. I heard 3.
Okay, we're going fast A.
I'm like really like personally as an IGL, like I'm quite against the what's it called? You know, just free pushing one plays, let's run the other. Just because
Yeah.
normally how like I like to set up is if I do a 3-man push, I'll do a pair on the other side of the map because it's pretty easy to predict that reaction. I think, like when you think about it, like you know how many times have you pushed 3C and they've just gone straight A? Like you can kind of guess that in your when you're coming up with your strats. So like what I would say is you just want to like going and taking the A part of the map's fine, but like I wouldn't like say okay let's just go A. You know what I mean? It'd be more so like maybe that's what you end up calling it, but maybe in a server you sort of talk about, you know, when this sort of like is to happen, it's like okay, we're gonna go like pressure A, but like don't just run into it blindly. Like let's still take, you know, our time a little bit because they're not gonna.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of time before they get to A,
Yeah, this
like
round was
those three.
so chaotic.
Yeah, like as if you panic, you lose. Like pretty much every round you panic is like not gonna feel like a good round.
They blinded me. Push me, push me, push me. Net shorties. Fuck. I'm in.
Okay, first of all, fundamental thing wrong with this round is that they've got low money, he's solo, and he's like poking. Like he shouldn't poke. Like I don't know what he's looking for. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't really matter. Like he's smoking it off. He's by himself. There's no reason for him to poke C. Because a low buy like is very likely. Like in a gun round, it's whatever, you know, if they commit to push for it. But when they're low buy, he doesn't need to do that at all. Like he's better to just sit on the box or like sit somewhere passive, like sit in the corner and just like play for the info.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going fast A.
Just wait till you hear this next part.
Get that gun. Yeah, they smoked it. They smoked it.
Okay, chill.
We're going A.
Chill. Reset.
Oh, push up window.
Well, that's one long. One long.
See long?
Yep, C long.
I'm ulting.
Chamber, I'm pretty sure. He got the gun.
Play together here.
I literally like 3v2. Just group up. Just go do something together.
No, we're not going there. We're not going here. He's upping it probably.
So you need to give an alternative. You need to give like a. Okay, what are we gonna do? We're not gonna go A. Like what we actually what? Wait, it gets worse.
Why would we not?
Because
Yeah,
he's
then
probably up.
Going up.
7.
He's not peeking yet.
I miss.
I'm playing default.
Also, I feel like it's a bit tough, but I feel like it's really risky because of the panic. Like you kind of like have to go A from this point. You know what I mean? Like a little bit.
He's upping it.
Like you kind of because he could just out rotate you because it's chamber anyway. So it's like it's quite scary as like a round. Do you know for sure that it's chamber? Do you?
I don't know. I don't think we do. Okay, no, we're not going there. We're not going here. He's upping it probably.
I smoked it.
Because it might have been better for you to just dog, and let him like just get enough to like see the angle, and like maybe Jet just drops a smoke on himself and then a smoke to dash in. But like either way, it's just actually chaos.
Going up.
7.
Yeah, like I just didn't want to run into the one way we lose around with chamber up, you know.
I miss.
That was
No,
my
no,
thing.
of course. I think that's like that thinking is fine and that logic is fine. It's just like the problem is from like I think the problem stems from when you just call let's just go A because you don't get time to actually process like
One long.
what's actually going on.
Push up.
Like let's just say that
How
Chamber
many?
played aggressive, which he really should do if he's gonna hero up in a low buy round. Like he should be on an aggressive angle. You go to here.
Push me.
They're pushing C. Let's look how many opportunities like from here. Like let's say he was posted on A,
Okay,
right?
we're going fast A.
Like you could just all get destroyed here. Because this is a very good position that you could have been in, right?
Yeah.
Trying to get that
Could
gun.
just destroyed
Trying to get
here.
that gun.
Like there's no method. Like let's just say that you guys as a free, maybe you breach stunned, you're going solo short, which ends up getting a kill. Let's just say Chamber was posted here as well.
Yeah, they
You're
smoked
just
it, they
kind of
smoked
like running in. Like he could have very easily, if this guy was better, he would have killed you because he would have heard you run in and closed the gap. Like he would have stepped forward a little bit and killed you with that short
Okay,
here.
chill.
We're going A.
Chill. I think one reason why I called the chill is just because we were so spread out.
They
I-
smoked it. They smoked
To
it.
be fair, this is the best call you made
Okay, chill,
in
chill.
this particular round.
Chill.
Is saying to chill from here.
Okay.
Because now you've got an advantage and you're trying to tone it down, but like you got to imagine this is what I mean.
Okay,
Like
we're going
you
fast.
agree that you could have easily died to Sova here, right?
Yeah.
And that Sova, if he was better, should have taken like a move diagonally and like taken the fight when he hears you stomping like that, peeked you as you got close and just shot you in the face with a shorty. Like that should have been his play really. But now you're just kind of like running in. Like this is all just absolutely chaos. One, like you could have ran into the chamber. A better team would have played aggressive with the chamber, or at least like an angle where you can actually have impact. Definitely not sat heaven. That's a terrible play for him to make,
Yeah.
because he's just gonna get
I'll be
smoked
honest,
off
I
if
don't
they
know
go.
if I realized chamber was opping until they
Yeah.
started here,
Okay.
like right here.
So that kill was really good. You know, you earned that kill. Like you did everything right to gain that kill. You chilled. That's perfect. But yeah, like here it's just chaos. Every time it's been chaos, it's like you put yourself in loads of situations where you could have like lost a round.
Yeah.
Here, like I'll just say, two of you just don't need to peek. One of you just needs to do like a jump spot, like just like you know the safe sideways jump spot. Obviously, he can kill you, but you just like it's worth the info in my opinion. Or you just hold a crossfire. He's got a sniper, you know. He's not gonna. Yes, he could walk on the corner of a sheriff, but you just need to do. You just need to relax again, you know. Like your chamber doesn't say that he's posted on him. Like you're planning a play for like when he comes out, but chamber could just say at the start that he's got the cross.
Yeah.
Like it's all this stuff like comms, you know, like. Oh, let me hear what you say.
Yeah, you want to take fast A control?
Want me to stun it right away?
Just come in.
You got breach here, so going fast A is pretty
We're
good.
just taking A control already.
Stunning long.
Cody, hold them in push.
Yes, stun on.
They've got a nice picker.
Dogging.
They're spraying.
One
They're
there?
spamming.
I'm with you.
Okay, oh,
They spammed. I'm low. I'm low. There's two.
I'm blind.
flash.
No, they're long with an op.
I'm with you, Higgy.
There's 3 here.
Yeah, two C.
It's KO, Sova, and Jet. And they have an op. They have
You
an
have
op.
to flash, you have to flash.
I'm
Yeah,
just.
lucky. I'm low there.
Oh, he's there. Oh, wait.
Are they moving?
Okay, we're just gonna have to run up C.
They you might just smoke and we can
One in,
just
one in B, one in B.
They clear this, Cody.
smoke.
So hold on.
Smoke CT. You ready to smoke CT?
I don't know what's going on this round, dude.
I'm just trying to see if you made a call or you just all ended up at C.
Oh, he's there. Oh, wait.
They know you're leaving.
Okay, we're just gonna have to run up C.
I'm gonna run up C.
You sprayed this. You might just smoke.
But like I don't think like okay, so I was thinking this like at the start, but like the problem is, you know, when you're gonna take a map control, you don't want 3 of you in this tiny choke point, you know? Like breach is honestly better to be somewhere else or you. Just to be like I don't know what he did at Southern. Did he stun long? So you stun long, right? You got them off the angle long to begin with, and then had no one take the position off of that. So it was wasted util because realistically you're smoking it. So if no one's gonna like, unless you're planning to like fake them out and like go C straight away, like no one's in a position to actually sort of like take the info on long. So like, because you got 3 of you here and you're not planning to rush A, so like, what is this? Like 3 of you don't need to be here, just 2's fine.
They spammed. I'm low. I'm low. There's
Yeah.
Flash.
No, they're long with an op.
Because like, what should have happened? He should have stunned. Someone should have got out long. Like even if it's just sat in this cubby and just like chilled and like basically just, you know, like wait till you know what you're doing. Like actually give your other players some time to like. This is like the problem that I find like when you IGL on initiator as well, and like when you play, like when I see it at like this sort of level, it's like you've got to like just believe in like letting your omen and your chamber actually like relay information to you, and just take a moment to actually process what you know about the round.
It's KO, Sova, and with you, Higgy.
Like rather than just all run into this and like chaos and like always trying to like do something. If you just got a guy along and 2 of you had sat and like waited like in a little setup on short and like poked,
They know you're leaving.
you know, that would have been fine. And then just wait to see what your chamber and your omen, like maybe ask them, you know, like have you heard, like what have you heard towards C? What have you heard towards garage? Because chamber's found a time in here. If no one had died, this would be chamber taking a time in garage with a 5v5. But like you kind of gave them no chance to even do their play. You didn't even ask them what they know. They didn't even tell you. You don't have to ask them. They can just tell you. But you could ask them. You know what I mean? You might
Yeah.
have to find yourself when you're more experienced as a player compared to other players. You have to kind of ask your peers more questions. You know, you have to kind of spoon feed them a little bit because they don't have that experience to know what they should do. And that's why experience is so important. Here. Okay, good. I don't know if you turned around to heal or you turned around to actually wait to
Yeah.
walk and smoke together.
To heal.
Because no, like this has been really neglected. This game is someone actually sitting in the smoke. Does Omen have his flash again? He didn't. He wouldn't need it. I just wonder if he ever is using his flash, like for anything. Because this is actually like that play was good, by the way. Like 4v5 grouping up, sort of doing a play together. Like that's what you want to do. In general, that was nice. I don't know if in your head would you have preferred Chamber to come with you or stay in garage? In your ideal world, if you could have controlled everything, what would you have done?
I'd probably keep Chamber there.
Yeah, that's really
And
good.
then probably like look for one and then TP out.
Yeah, so basically what you want to do is, that's perfect. That's the right answer. Like him going to C long would have been like really troll, because you're fun. You don't have any win conditions then, because you're at a disadvantage with only one win condition. It's all or nothing at C. Whereas like here, like he's opening up like more win conditions for you in the round. That's why it's very important to actually, when you default, like let your Chamber and Omen have that freedom, and like give them that chance to, sort of like read into the game and see what they can do, because what could happen at any point, say you're defaulting 3 towards 8 and you've taken like the early map control that you want, you got the choice then. They either here rotate, they might find a kill, the enemies might triple push somewhere and you're in a position to go on A. But if you're always moving, imagine you're always moving your crosshair, you're never going to be in a position when someone peeks you, right? It's like you're not going to be ready because you're always moving around, your cross is always moving, you're never still and ready for the peak. It's like that with IGLing. Like if you're always moving around, you're never going to really be in, it's going to be like up to sort of like a chance that you're in the perfect position for the perfect play. It's like breathe, like let them make a mistake, let your players get some info.
I'm gonna flank.
This round's, at this moment, this round's almost definitely lost because
Yeah, Chamber really needed to
E-
be honest.
even to be honest,
Like, was it bad that we all? It was bad that we all went flank here, I think, right?
yeah. So I'll break this down for you. This is good. This sounds fine. They're doubled up in garage. This is really nice.
Or are they?
Yeah, this is what I was about to say. Jet should stay on site with you because you got this for the flank. They can't flank. You're in a pair. You and Jet have good synergy anyway. You'd just do something like one of you would go either here or here. One of you would, you double up on site. They come out. You just say to him, "I'm gonna flash when they come out," or wait, like I'm gonna call flash, double peek. They're in garage. Like obviously they're both taking 1v1s, but at least they can both actually hold their angle and full concentrate on it. That's fine. Omen can potentially flash for Chamber here. There's loads of possibilities. And then now, what the, like, look at that, look at that comparison. Like they've
We're
got,
like, yeah, we don't want to win this round anymore.
yeah, like
Peace.
okay, yeah, like this is the moment where you decided to lose the round because they're gonna smoke you off. You literally called one round. They've got no smokes. Let's play long. Okay, they've got smokes. We're still playing long. So Omen would have had a chance to kill and potentially trade there, or like get a kill, flash, get blind, say, come around the corner, flash. Yeah, so this round, I'm almost certain you'll lose this round.
We will, 100%.
They're just gonna try and spam the bomb now, but like the good team, they've got plenty of time. They're just gonna go tap the bomb and not get spammed. Yeah, like
Yeah.
you can see the exact point where you lost that round.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go see. We gotta plant somewhere.
Let's
Different.
let's take fast garage control.
I think the plant was fine, to be
So
honest.
hope towards
It doesn't really
just
matter
keep
where you had
shooting
planted
fast.
there. The only way you can really ever risk, the only way you can really go down C long when they got smokes is if you plant up here within the super tight corner, so that there's only like a small, like I wouldn't even like to do that, but that's like your best case scenario of winning from that position.
I'll, like, movement out.
The only time you might consider that is if they've got a breach ult and they've got smokes. So you're like, well, we can't play on site, and we're gonna have to play long. Okay, well, we're gonna have to plant here. That's our best case of winning that round.
Here, Jackson. Come.
Does that make sense? Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean by that plant? So like that. So this is where this is the hard thing about Valorant. It's always changing. This is why it's like keeping a team together and developing is like so important, and you see like teams that stick together progress so much because all things like that, you know, like you can't just do all of this on the fly. Like I'm telling you now, I would struggle to prepare all of this on the fly, but if I've got a team with like all the foundation set, then you can start working on, you know, the adapting your game to the opponents. You know, like it's not an easy job,
Ready?
but these are all like things you can do.
Chamber just TP'd off B.
Okay, cut noise. Stop running. Stop running.
So why would you want them to stop? Do you just like explain?
TP'd off B.
I just wanted us to take garage control and leave.
Sova's on B. Sova's on B.
Because I think Jet's play to like go in and break the trip was really good.
Yeah, no, that's what I wanted them to do. I just
Okay. Were you just worried that he was just gonna run in? So like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
so
I
this was just
would-
part of my idea where like I like to take map control then.
Yeah. I would just. This is super risky. Like you could have easily lost your life here, like super easily. Like this peak's really rough. They could definitely have had an AWP posted there. Like you pressured A pretty. Not once. Not one piece of util went towards A at the start, did it?
Where do you want me?
No. So 0 piece of util went up to A. They knifed, got nothing. It's very likely there could have been an AWP there.
Chamber just TP'd off B.
Okay, cut noise. Stop running. Stop running.
Sova's on B. Sova's
Jackson. Jackson's just your nightmare. Bless him.
You guys need to come first A. We cleared garage and stuff. Okay,
Did you
cut noise.
call that
Chamber.
pre-round? How did you say to them that they got to come back A after? Oh, okay, you said it right there. Okay. It didn't sound like a very decisive call.
You guys need to come first A.
It was kind of in the same tone of voice as your normal like comms, which I'd say like when you wanna make a call, your tone of voice is a bit important. Like that's if you're calling to come back A here, it sounds like that's gonna be your end round almost. Because you know if you take map control on A, it sounds like because you've not said any specifics on who you want to. How many you want back or anything like that, because Omen's given up all of C now, right, to come back to A.
They're on B right now.
You've deposited this guy here. Oh, this is a really good term that I heard that I never actually heard of. Like I didn't call it deposit, but I heard a load of people I work with calling it. Like for chamber, like trying to get them somewhere. So like depositing chamber close B in like a lurk spot and then going somewhere else. Like it's like a good round, like a good way to com like in your default is like getting chamber put somewhere to actually help him get impact.
Yeah.
Two on B.
So like it's a term you could potentially use.
Yeah, I have ult.
So this all seems like this is all stepping on like an AWP could just destroy you, like so many opportunities in this round. And bear in mind they're
Yeah.
running chamber jet, which could be a very likely double AWP setup. You'd be getting destroyed right now because there's been so many opportunities we've just walked into angles with no util. What you want to do is what I'd say is you would want to group here, and if you want to go A in this type of round, I think you either just dog it like you did to clear close, and then you clear it, like you maybe have to take some risk, which is okay, like that's Valorant. Or you have the choice to like breach stun and like fully sort of like start the execute from here. Just because you put no presence on A at all for the entire round, it was very likely they could have had like an AWP, like they have an AWP in play.
Yeah.
There's
This is where the nightmare begins.
almost no reason to like the plan should already be like if you knew from the moment that you started grouping A that you were going to end A, right? There's been no comma about the execute. There's so many great ways to execute A. So many. Again, talking about people's util, you could have either here or here. Depends how safe you want to be. You can either have like this sort of flash. You can have from here. You can have like this flash again. If Omen's long, you could come here. You could do this flash. Breach, pretty much the exact same util as Omen. Can do a stun. That gets like he'd have to stand back a bit because of the the breach radius. He can do his stun like this. He could come. You could either go short or long and stun up this line. He could say that he's gonna, you know, you could be talking to your jet to do like the tens thing, where he dashes into a smoke, either from long or short. And you know, if you're long, you put the flash like here. You can even do that from short, but you could also pop flash him out like close. So you could tell him you're gonna flash like front sight. So then you say this line, you're gonna flash front sight. He's gonna come in, he's gonna dash into his smoke like here, and then he's gonna fight. So what he'll do in this type of round is he'll run up. As he dashes in, he'll clear this angle. Like he'll look to the right as he dashes, and then he's gonna come out and fight this side with your flash. If you did that, like it doesn't matter like where you are to do that flash because you're sky. But like none of this happens, and your execute ends up being that you smoke CT. You stood in you're all stood here with your ute out. Breach has contacted up long with no heaven smoke, and then you just die for
We all
free. Yeah, like you see how like why you need to plan. Like you just didn't. There was nothing going on there, sadly.
Yeah.
Didn't clear any corners. And we went out first. I was gonna dash.
Match point.
I got the
True.
opening on jet there, I feel like.
We know the drill.
Once I get the kill on jet, we just burst A, kill whoever's sight, and then I'm in a good position to get more.
Okay, we're doing the same thing. Take garage control, maybe get Cody up, and then we're walking A, and then we're gonna breach hold.
I feel like you shouldn't know this much of about your round before. Like that's not a bad call because you plan to end with ult, and like that is super strong. But like I'd make sure your team know and that you know that that's not like 100%, because what might happen if you call like that is it might be conflicting. They might get two really good entries garage and just not take C when they should, because you said you want them to end A. Like I don't know how your players are, but like you just be careful of that, because they, you know, I'd just say like, and we could maybe like end A and then you call it in the mid round if you want to do it. So you leave your options open basically. Like
Yeah.
the call to take garage, the start round call is fine.
He pushed out mid, he just dry swung smoke.
So here, like after you get a kill, is again I'd say play fanatic. Like that's what like you know the term that I use, where it's play fanatic, where it's don't take too many risks, don't over try not to put yourself in a position where you can die.
He pushed out.
Because like here, like
Nice. Okay, chill.
because chill's such a
Killed my trap A, he killed my trap A.
weird one.
Yeah, he
Because
killed things to me.
if we're talking like let's chill, this is not chilling.
Yeah.
He needs help to like. The reason you play Fnatic is because then it gives Decoy a chance to go. Okay, guys, like I'm in a bad position here. Let's do something about it.
He pushed out mid, he just dry swung smoke.
Now you lost the advantage. In my opinion, you just dogged for no reason. Because had you seen someone, no one would have killed anyone anyway. So what were you trying to like?
Okay, we'll get you the gun and then we'll walk C.
Like you couldn't do anything about the info that you got. The only use of it was that they, you know, if they actually had someone on the angle watching, he's still watching, you know, like there was nothing else to deny. They just seen a dog come and nothing else. They just got eyes on the cross.
Yeah.
So now you're getting red because it's very likely people deposit someone posted on A and then rotate off everyone else.
Alright,
A dog A and nothing else, you know, that's screaming C. You know, the guy on A is coming, okay, they dogged and they did nothing, or they still haven't crossed. A lot of people will just be jiggling or holding this line. And now you're going 4, you've got your 1 win condition. It's not that bad because of the util you have, right?
ready? Yep, do
But if they'd been jump spine C, like most good people would be,
Yeah.
you're done. You're hit with a KO molly or a Sova dart or a smoke or whatever, like you're done, you know?
That hit me, I can't see shit.
No garage smoke. If there'd been anyone holding across garage, they could have had a chance to kill you.
Clear flank.
They got smokes here. You got nothing for the flank, so you have to do something. They're good. Like this is one of the plays you can do. It's I've only just realised their chamber's name. So does Omen have flash here? Did Omen use his flash on the execute? My guess would be no. No.
Nah, you have to backside.
I can't see shit.
So you got to. So yeah, like Omen could have flashed.
Clear
something.
My smoke garage.
Play site. We have to play site here.
So that's a bad com. You can't play site.
4v4 here. Come.
So you say no, yeah. That's good.
Someone shoot
All of
that.
us gotta shoot around.
One out, one out, one out.
Out garage, out garage. 120 on garage.
Like your call was bad. They just went in. They actually played that bad to CT. Like that chamber made like a really bad play, but he got away with it.
Yeah.
Because he just went in and retook by himself. It's like if someone was holding for him, he would have died. You know, you can't do much about that. Like that's him doing a stupid play. The right thing doesn't always work.
Yeah.
But yeah, like overall, that's the game there. But like I think, like I don't know what you learned, like, but I feel like there's quite like a lot there for you to like work on. I know in terms of like a lot of like the IGL, like you're basically like a representation of your team. You know, like your team plays like how you get them to, and it's important that you teach your players what you want for them. So when you're talking like in practice, you might be like just tell your players like what you want them to do, like teach them how you want them to play, not just like call everything like on the fly. Like apart from your set pieces, obviously, just like teach them and just like just have a bit more. But like, what did you find useful in that lesson? Like, do you have any questions?
Um. I'm not sure. I really think I just need to like obviously prep my team more, and then we need to communicate how we are taking certain parts of the map, like you're talking about, like retaking, or literally just um like popping. Like when I called that pop that one time, like should have had the omen flashing or getting smokes ready for us.
Yeah, I think it's just like I think planning is like the biggest thing to take away. Like planning lost you so many rounds, like not failure to plan.
Yeah.
And it's like I think your actual like calls, like so the rounds that you called were fine, to be honest, like a lot of them. But I think what you need to do is you need to like relax a little bit more and maybe like play like you want to play the game in like a good way. Like your initial like the way that your vision of the game is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not dumb at all. It's actually like the way that I like to play as well. Don't like to play fast very often. Like to take the map control, like work like earn our rounds.
Yeah.
But you need to like you need to play a slower tempo for that and actually give yourself a chance to like read what's going on. Because a lot of the time you're calling around sort of like not around yourself as in how a duelist would, but you're literally calling with what you see in your game. You're not ever really taken in unless it's super obvious like what your teammates are seeing. And you need to teach them how to relay info, like maybe go through like a POV with them and explain to them like what sound cues and stuff they could get and like what sort of calls you'd want from that. Definitely talk about like each person's utility more, like try not to swap round roles as much and like rather like teach as much as you can, because I know you said you're on
Yeah.
smokes now. It's easier to micromanage on smokes because your role is very simple, whereas on Sky you have to do a lot of things. Whilst you're taking A, it's very hard for you to control what's going on elsewhere, whereas like it's way easier for you as to go Sky, can you retake A main, we're going to follow it, that type of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, did you have any questions, sorry, or anything that you wanted to learn or?
Okay. What about? So I just want to talk about like comps real quick
Mhm.
for maps. Like, so we haven't played in a couple months. So like now there's Fade, now there's Pearl. What maps does Fade replace other initiators on, would you say?
It's literally like that's the beauty of this game. You can kind of play whatever you feel like. I feel like Bind is a very good map for Fade. I feel like Ascent
Okay.
is a very good map for Fade. I feel like Breeze and Icebox, she's not too good. Haven, I don't really like Fade either, to be honest, but a lot of teams do like her. Splits out the map pool, and Fracture, I'm not 100% sure like how I feel. I quite like the Brimstone on that map. I quite like Sage, Raze, going down that sort of route. Breach, I think, is essential on this map. I've mixed around with like a few things. I actually quite like Cypher as well. So it's kind of like, like comps like this. Like I quite like that comp for Fracture. But there's potential, to change it up for sure. Pearl, I don't know enough about yet. Like the map's not played. I've not played any scrims on it, so I have no idea. Looking at the map, it might be quite a good fade map, just because it's how open it is.
Maybe, yeah.
I feel like Sova might. It's an open map, but a lot of places to hide, which is screaming to me that fade might be quite strong on it. I think Viper's going to be really good on this map, to be honest.
You think Viper's good?
Yeah, I think Viper will be good on this map. There's quite like a lot of bomb sites where without Viper they look a little bit rough.
Yeah. Do you think she's gonna be the main controller? Like just Viper, or do you think this is gonna be a double controller map?
I'm not entirely sure, if I'm honest, but I feel like, like this type of wall and like a wall that goes across like here and here is going to be like quite important. The wall that goes across like this choke point and this.
Yeah.
And it
But I
doesn't.
mean, you could just have normal smokes do that.
I do agree. I don't think it's like necessarily. I don't know. I'm really not too sure yet.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it play out. Like I think it comes down to like how mid feels, because obviously they're super close. Breach is potentially someone that looks like they could be quite good on this map, but I'm not entirely sure yet. I don't know. I think Chamber will be amazing, as he is on every map, just because at the moment he's really strong, and like this bomb site in general, like there's so many angles, like no dog, drone or fade or anything is going to be able to clear all of these angles really. Like going down here is going to be ridiculously hard, I think, as an attacker. I don't know how you're going to do that. That's the only potential reason I can imagine double smokes, like because you might have to do something where you block that off. But yeah, like just that's I don't know too much about that. But yeah, to answer your question, I think Bind and Ascent are the best ones for fade at the moment.
All right. Do you play Astra on any? I don't really play any Astra.
I loved Astra before the nerf. I've never liked Astra on Haven, but I think Bind and Ascent, she's still viable. You could
Okay.
run her. I feel like you can run any of the smokers on Bind and Ascent. I don't like Brimstone on Ascent really. I like
Yeah.
Omen a lot.
Yeah.
But I think Bind and Ascent.
Haven I play. Yeah, I play a lot of Omen. So I play Omen on Haven, I play Omen on Ascent. Icebox, Viper, Breeze, Viper obviously. Fracture, probably Brim I think. Bind, Brim.
And then you play Viper on Icebox Freeze.
Yeah.
Okay, that's perfect, I think. Did you have any other questions or?
That I can think
You
of
can
right
always
now.
ask me questions on Discord. It doesn't have to be now. Like if you remember something after, just drop me a message on Discord. And like I hope it was a good lesson for you. I hope you enjoyed it. Assuming
Always good
everything
to get
went
an outside
well.
perspective.
Assuming it went well, I should have recorded it, so I'll be able to upload that for you.
Oh, you did? Is that you saying you did or you should have?
I should have. Like I'm just assuming. No, like I am hoping I did. I'm hoping that it recorded properly.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Yeah, that'd be great.